When I was a little girl, my father used to tell me ancient tales passed down from our ancestors. He would say, "Joy, Joy, promise me you'll pass these stories to the next generation." And so, I tell you now the story of Koura, the legend of our village. A legend that still whispers in the wind and stirs in the silence of the night. Long ago, in a small village nestled deep in the heart of Africa, there lived a beast. A creature not born of man or animal, but of something darker. His name was Koura. Towering higher than the tallest palm tree, with eyes that glowed like burning coal, Koura was a nightmare brought to life. The mere mention of his name sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest warriors. Women who went to the farms at sunrise never returned. Children walking home from school vanished without a trace. Men who dared to enter the forest alone met a cruel fate. Koura struck silently, leaving no signs of struggle, only sorrow, fear, and empty homes. Every day, another person disappeared. A mother sent her daughter to fetch water, but the girl never came back. A father waved goodbye to his son, not knowing it was the last time he would see him. A young man set out to visit a friend, but only his footsteps echoed in the silence. The village grew haunted by grief. People cried. They wailed. They whispered, "What have we done to deserve this?" The king summoned his warriors. Spears were sharpened. Shields were raised. But none returned. Hunters followed, skilled and bold, but not one lived to tell the tale. Koura could not be stopped. But the evil did not begin with the beast. No. It began many years before, on a quiet evening, when greed took root in the hearts of wicked men. There was a herdsman who traveled peacefully with his cattle, singing softly as he led them through the land. But one night, as he journeyed to the market, he was ambushed. The men attacked him with no warning. Blades flashed. He cried for mercy, but none came. They stabbed him again and again, until the earth drank his blood. Then, they dragged his body into the bush and covered it with leaves, leaving his spirit restless and lost. That night, the murderers gathered in secret. They slaughtered the herdsman's cattle and divided the spoils among themselves. Some sold the cows in distant markets, others roasted the meat and drank palm wine until they could no longer stand. The village joined in their celebration, unaware of the sin that tainted the feast. With blood still fresh on their hands, the wicked men threw a great party. Drums beat, women danced, and laughter echoed through the night. They believed they had won. But the herdsman's spirit was watching. It did not forget. It did not forgive. It waited. Time passed. The murderers grew old. Their children grew into men and women. But one night, a shadow crept into the village. The wind mourned like a grieving widow. The trees trembled. From the depths of pain and injustice, a terrible creature was born, Koura, the beast formed from the rage of a soul denied peace. The village fell into despair. Nothing could stop the terror. But one evening, as the flames flickered low and hope faded, a wise old woman spoke. Her voice was gentle, yet firm. She told the people of the herdsman and the crime that birthed the beast. Until his soul is appeased, she said, Koura will not rest. She spoke of a man who lived far away, in the village of Ibom. The king sent his strongest guards on a journey across rivers and forests. After many days, they returned with the elder. He said, To end the curse, the prince must go alone into the forest. He must carry a small native pot with a burning light and a sacred white chalk known as nzu. Only by seeking forgiveness can peace return. The king was shaken. My only son. What if Koura devours him? He asked. The elder answered, that is the price of redemption. The queen wept, refusing to let her son face such danger. But the prince, brave and full of heart, stepped forward and said, I will go. At dawn, the prince walked into the cursed forest. The wind hissed through the trees, warning him to turn back. But he pressed on, his step steady, his heart unwavering. Then came the growl. Low and deep, it shook the earth. Koura emerged, a towering beast, eyes blazing with fury. The prince trembled but did not flee. Instead, he knelt before the monster. Forgive us, he said softly. Forgive our ancestors. Find peace. Koura's eyes dimmed. The fury in them faded. The prince dipped his fingers into the nzu and pressed it gently onto the beast's forehead. A sudden wind swirled around them. The ground trembled. A miracle unfolded. The monstrous form shrank, folding in on itself until there stood a man, the herdsman. His eyes held sorrow, but also peace. Villagers who had followed from a distance watched as the herdsman nodded once and, in a gust of wind, turned into a skeleton. His bones turned to dust, carried away by the breeze. That night, the village rejoiced. The drums returned, not with fear, but with joy. Palm wine flowed, and the aroma of jollof rice and akara filled the air. They danced beneath the stars, celebrating not just their survival, but the return of peace. And so, my child, the story of Koura was told around fires for generations. A tale not just of fear, but of justice, forgiveness, and the price of silence. Now you too must pass it on.